In this video, we want to talk about converting between fractions and decimals. So that's something that's important to be able to do, and the TI-34 multi-view actually makes it very easy for us to do this. We just have to know a few things. So this first example I want to look at is about as simple as the examples get. We want to take 3/5 as a fraction and turn it into a decimal. And so this is very easy to accomplish on the calculator. The first thing we want to do is get the fraction into the calculator. So 3, and then you use your fraction button, and then your 5 for your denominator, and then remember to use your right arrow key to get out of the fraction. So we have 3/5 now that's displayed in our calculator, and you'll notice that above the fraction button there's an F, a set of double arrows, and then a D. That means fraction to decimal. So you can use this button to convert from fractions to decimals or decimals to fractions. It'll go both ways. So in order to get the gray text, we have to use the gray second button. So we hit second, and then we choose the fraction button for fraction to decimal, and now hit enter. And it tells us that it's 0.6 or 6/10. So 3/5 is equivalent to 0.6. Let's go ahead and clear that one. Now I want to do an example that takes a little bit more thinking on our part. Here we have 5 2/3, and we want to turn it into a decimal. So we know that 5 is a whole number portion of a mixed number. That means it's going to be a whole number portion of a decimal as well. So let's go ahead and start off by just typing in the mixed number. So we'll hit 5, the mixed number button, and then 2, down arrow, 3, and then our right arrow. So now we have 5 2/3. So let's see what happens when we use the same process as we did on example 1. So we hit second, and then fraction to decimal, and then enter. And as we expected, the 5 is to the left of the decimal, so that means it's a whole number. But notice that the decimal says 0.666666667. Well, the calculator always rounds. It's not capable of showing you a repeating decimal, but it's giving you a big clue that this 7 is actually being rounded up. So really our answer should be 5.6 repeating. And remember, to express a repeating decimal, we would just write 5.6, and then we would put a bar on top of the 6. All right, let's clear that example out. The next thing we want to do is the reverse. We want to take a decimal and turn it into a fraction. So we'll start off with an easier example. Number 3 is 0.35. So we just press 0.35, which is 35 hundredths. And then we hit second, and then fraction to decimal, and enter. Now notice that it says 7/20. That's because my calculator is set up to automatically reduce fractions, and we've talked about that in previous videos. But real quickly, I'll just show you. You go to mode, and then if you scroll all the way down to the last option, you have either manually simplify, which means you have to do it yourself, or auto simp. And so you really want your calculator set on auto simp. So rather than giving me 0.35, which is 35 hundredths, if it was set on manually simplify, over here on the right, it would have written 35/100, and I would have had to use the simplify button to simplify. By letting the calculator do automatically simplify, or auto simp, it automatically simplifies our answer to 7/20. All right, the next one I want to look at is 1.3 repeating. Now, there's no way to tell the calculator that it's repeating by putting a little bar over the top. So what we need to do is, if we want to turn this repeating decimal into a fraction, we have to make sure that we give it plenty of repetition. So I'm going to do 1 point, and then if I just do 3, 3, 3, that's not enough. You want to put in a whole lot of 3s. I always tell my students to basically fill up at least one full line of the calculator. So you'll notice that the 1 has actually disappeared. I've entered in so many 3s. Now hit second, fraction to decimal, and then enter. And it tells me that the answer is 1 1/3. And go ahead and clear your calculator.